Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dave Kim for WGRD.com and Grand Rapids Rock Alternative 97.9 GRD. I am at the intersection where tonight, finally, Foxy Shazam are playing. They were a little under the weather. Right now I have Eric and Alex from Foxy. Guys, how are you feeling right now?
Good.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
I felt horrible a couple weeks ago. I had pneumonia in both sides of my lungs. We were in Boston, and I went to the... what do they call it? Urgent care.
Ooh.
And got an x-ray of my lungs, and she said I had it in both sides. I couldn't even walk. Like, usually I'm somebody that powers through sicknesses, and they don't really affect me.
Clearly, since you're wearing a Mortal Kombat hat.
Yeah. But this thing just put me down. I hadn't felt that bad since I was a kid, so...
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Is it just because of... I mean, you guys are notorious for just nonstop touring.
It's bound to happen. We tour so much of the year that, you know, the amount of time we go without a serious sickness that takes us off the road is pretty good. So it's bound to happen every once in a while.
I mean, have you had to postpone shows before due to health reasons?
We have, I think, once, but we normally we don't ever do that unless it's like for real.
Yeah. Now you guys release your fourth studio album, The Church of Rock and Roll, in January. And I like it's just been blowing up like crazy. I will admit, I actually put that song on a mixtape for a girl, but she's a white Dutch girl, but she gets it.
Oh.
So she really digs it. Now, I kind of thought you guys would be at this point 2 years ago with Unstoppable and with your self-titled coming out. Why do you think now all this is starting to happen?
I think the Dutch accent is really sexy. I remember when...
She doesn't have a Dutch accent, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember we caught a plane...
I should have said Dutch American to be more
Okay.
specific, sorry.
We caught a plane... we were going we were on a layover going to England or something. And I think we landed... Australia, and we landed in what's the place where they were? No. Dutch.
Sweden.
Holland?
No.
Dutchland.
Holland.
Netherlands. Holland, yes.
Holland. And the flight attendants had to tell you in American, like, this is how you fasten your seat. But then they started saying it in Dutch, and it was really sexy. But the Unstoppable, what were you saying about Unstoppable?
So, now, with, I thought that you guys would have been at this point 2 years ago when Unstoppable was played during the Super Bowl, when you had your self-titled out on Sire Records. Why do you think now all this is happening instead of in 2010?
The reason, we can tell you exactly why. It's because we have a team that's behind us that believes in us for the right reasons and not just to make money. And I'm not saying that we're, like, there were certain...
You're talking about your current label now with
Exactly.
Capitol?
Like, we did our last record on Warner, and they were a great team. That's a great company, but I think they were in a big transitional period, and they just couldn't focus. So it was hard for us to gain any traction, but now that we're on a label, a smaller label that is more dedicated to the band for what they are.
They're passionate about it. And so when you're passionate about something, you just work harder, naturally. So I think we're all just on the same page, finally.
Do you think Warner just didn't get it?
I think they could have got it, but like I said, they were like in this weird time. Like the company was changing rapidly. We just came on that place at the wrong time. Like that ship was going down, and it was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. So luckily we were able to do it, but not because of like the people that were there or anything. It was just obviously a bad time for the company, like it is for any company really in music right now. But
sorry, go ahead.
But we were able to luckily find a smaller, team of people that was focused on the right things,
Now, you know how hardcore fans can be with being a little possessive with the bands that they like. Did you face any backlash when I Like started getting more airplay on radio stations and your songs started to get more popular?
Doesn't seem like it, really.
Yeah.
It's been really nice. Only more support.
Okay.
More passion.
The band that we've done, Foxy's always been an interesting band because we've always kind of like been able to maintain this gray area between what's popular and what isn't at all. And that's always been something that we've really been able to balance well, and I think a lot of bands have a hard time with that, like either they're too far in one direction, too far in the other. But we do so many different records from record to record. We do so many different themes and so many different things that you can never really put your finger on where we are. So people have a hard time really judging us for selling out or being a pop band or being a rock band.
You probably retained your fans since like what 2005 was like one of your first releases, right?
Yeah, actually,
wasn't the Flamingo Trigger around that time?
It was either late 2004 or early 2005. Flamingo Trigger, and then we did Introducing 2008, Self-Titled 10, and now Church of Rock and Roll 12. So.
And now you guys are from Cincinnati, so in the local scene, were there other bands that were comparable to you, or since you stood out on your own so much, that's how you were able to transcend just from being in Ohio to now being across the world?
The band, I can honestly say this from the bottom of my heart, the only band that has ever influenced me and the band that set the bar for me to play the live show the way we do, for me personally, was a band from Cincinnati called, at the time they were called Skin Curtain, but now they're called Banderas. And this guy, the singer, has just always been, like, it was the first show I saw as a kid, and I went and it was a local show, they were blowing fire and swinging on stuff, and it was just a crazy show, and he really set the bar for me. Seeing that at a young age, I think it really made me who I am today on stage. And Alex, see if you want to, if there's anything.
I mean, inspiration-wise, or in Cincinnati?
I guess just succeeding, whereas other bands in the local scene where they couldn't. Is it because of your uniqueness?
I think we work our asses off, and I think that we never stop writing. We don't stop touring, and we don't stop. And I think it's not a testament to any other band's prowess or artistic ability. I think it's just a testament to how hard we're willing to push ourselves and how far we want to go.
The scene in Cincinnati is great, but it doesn't seem like anybody's like wanting to make it a long-term thing. You know what I mean?
Each band's different.
Yeah.
Like when you guys were first doing your early shows, when people didn't really know who you are, and you guys got up stage, like did say they saw you with your trumpet, did they think, oh, we got a ska band on our hands, or some Cake wannabe?
Yeah, all the time. But you just shatter that. You just you stare it right in the eyes, and you run your head right through that. I don't know the right word, the ideology of however the people see the horn or whatever it is that you're doing. You just stare right in the eyes and you barrel it over.
There's always been like a certain stigma that gets pinned to the horn.
Yeah.
And that is something that I'm proud to say Foxy Shazam will change because of Alex, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And that's
hated it, so I never pay attention to it. You
the
just
horn.
Look at no that ideology like that of ska and stuff. And I like ska. I always paid attention to it, but yeah.
I think it's just a cool thing to have in the mix.
Awesome. Now, Eric, you mentioned in the past that you grew up in a high school that was very diverse. Did that influence a lot on your guys' music?
Yeah, it did. I think the most important lesson that a kid could learn in high school is, or in any public like situation where they have to be with a group of people, is how to deal with someone that's different from you, you know, or you just gotta learn. You gotta learn how people are other than you. You can't go to a school where everybody's the same as you. What are you learning at all? You know, math. Who needs math? You gotta learn.
Let's do long division.
Yeah, you gotta learn the ropes about how to like interact with people that aren't like you, and you gotta learn to accept people. You gotta learn for that. They gotta learn to accept you. And if they don't, you gotta learn to deal with that. It's all kinds of things like. That's the most important part of school, and I feel sorry for kids that have to go to schools that they don't have that culture. It's just sad.
Homogenous just pot of people.
Yeah, they get out, all they end up learning is like math and social studies and like science and stuff. It's all they ever learn.
You don't use that in the real world.
Yeah.
Now, for people who aren't familiar with Foxy Shazam, how would you describe yourselves to those people? I mean, are you sick of the term glam rock?
I think here's the thing about that word. It's very normally when you hear it, you think like hair bands, but to me, glam rock has always meant like what it's like the abbreviation, glamorous rock and roll. So it's like Prince's glam rock to me, you know, like anything that looks glamorous or that takes pride in like just kind of being this like real shiny thing. then that's what glam rock is to me. When I think about it in that way, I never get sick. I love it. It's awesome. But I think sometimes a lot of people pin it to like a certain thing that it really isn't, which if it means that, then it's kind of like, we're not that at all.
To be honest, I'm tired of all the titles.
Yeah.
All of them. You hear so many all the time that I would rather hear none. But I mean I just want people to listen, and make up something on their own, some unique combination. But
I think the artist is always kind of like that's a nightmare for them to be pinned to any kind of thing, obviously, but that's gonna happen. Everybody, it just happens. I think that's how people do it now. Just they always have done it. You gotta say it reminds them of something.
Well, speaking of which, you've been compared a lot to bands like The Darkness, for example. And funny enough, Justin Hawkins produced your last record, right?
Yeah.
How did you get in touch with him? Was you just running through the same circles?
Yeah. We just kind of had a lot of the same. We would we did some writings together previously for other artists, and
like Meatloaf.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we, so that's kind of how we met, just through that stuff outside of what we do. And then we always said, it's kind of worked creatively on the same level. So it was like, we should make a record someday together. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then the rest is history.
And you, Foxy opened up for The Darkness like in February, right?
Yeah.
Was that a pretty successful tour?
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
It was their first tour back since they were on hiatus or broke up or whatever it was. But
since his amazing Samsung commercial during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, good friend of ours, and we were happy to be so involved in his comeback and like the band in general. It's just a great band. So
They're a real rock and roll band.
Now, for the longevity of Foxy Shazam, what are some of the keys to your success and keeping the band fresh? And does it make it harder for you since you are such a unique band?
What's your favorite type of food?
My favorite type of food, Mexican.
Mexican?
Yeah, you wouldn't think that looking at me,
No.
but it is.
I think we eat Mexican on at least 4 or 5 times in a week, I think, when we're traveling. So
What's your favorite type of Mexican food?
enchiladas.
That's good. White burritos over here.
I like tacos.
That's a safe choice.
Yeah, I like the different kinds of tacos. Like I guess I love fish tacos. The key to success is like just never make the same record twice. Let people know that they need to expect the unexpected. Otherwise, they're going to be mad at you because they didn't expect what you just gave them. But if they expect not expecting it, then they're going to be okay with it. So we always make sure we tell our fans, like, look, you can like us now, but you might hate us later.
Right. That's a very honest statement, which is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Now, for those older fans, and to maybe get new fans caught up, will you ever reissue like the Flamingo Trigger or any of the? Will you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it'd definitely be something fun to do.
I actually had a buddy of mine say, "Why don't they ever play anything from that record?"
I thought it'd be cool to do like a revisit of the Flamingo Trigger and take, obviously we didn't have Alex back then, so we didn't have a couple of the guys. We didn't have Aaron or Daisy either. But I think it would be interesting to take what we have now and how far we've come and grown as a band and reapply it to what we did back then and see how it turns out. I think that's something in the future that I'd love to do for fun.
Last question. You guys toured with Hole in 2010. Is Courtney Love as controversial as the media makes her out to be?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Anything that you hear or see is true.
She's lashed out at you guys at all?
No. I guess here's there's a level of respect that I think artists have for each other. So we only really yell at people that aren't artists. So we heard her yelling at sometimes they'll be her management or the crew or somebody in the the walls are real thin. We're in the dressing room next door. We're cup on the wall. And just
I mean, did you guys meet? Did you meet her?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a. I mean, she's obviously
Very busy woman.
she is the spirit of rock and roll. So that's a very busy lifestyle, and she's all over the place. So it was just kind of cool to really observe that, and just kind of like be a band on tour with her, and like just kind of sit back and be a fly in the wall was really the funnest part for me.
Definitely.
Nice. I know, Eric, Alex, thank you so much. Foxy Shazam, the Church of Rock and Roll. It's out now. Go buy it, download it legally, or they will beat you up. They are playing at the Intersection tonight, and you know what? I just decided. You guys are playing GRD's Wingstock June 16th at Fifth Third Ballpark.
Yeah.
I made an executive decision right now.
Wow.
I run this shit like Kim Jong-il.
Heck yeah,
That's what
man.
I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, Foxy Shazam. It's Dave Kim for WGRD.com.